this team, and as I said, slowly but steadily they pick up pace, and it seems like they are moving in the direction. Yesterday we did see one of the game where it did find eliminations around the double digits, but it's not going to be enough. Today they have to rake up a lot of points because the difference at the top four already sits at triple digits.
Yeah, gotta keep up to that, live up to that name, right?
Yeah.
If you call yourself KD God, you better rack up some numbers here. Even for Titan Esports Club, they are now currently in 11th place. Last we checked in on the overall standing, they're 4 points already. That is, you know, in all honesty, in a lobby that already started slower than what we saw yesterday is a good thing, right? My personal prediction is that teams like BRU, they are going to slow down a little bit. They are already in such a comfortable spot. They're not going to be hunting for much. And this is actually a very good opening for teams at the bottom or the middle of the pack to start racking up some points.
Hands down, that's right. This should be an opportunity that the teams in the middle order should pick up points, and that's what Paradox is trying to do. Already found an opening on Team Apex Gaming. Will confirm the elimination, KD God, but quickly being hit upon. That Shoto putting down Sneaky for his sneaky approach on his captain.
Paradox still having members around. It's going to be windy now. Enrique out in the open. Shoto wins out on that exchange. And Enrique now fully alone. Snipe not in sight at all, as Paradox Gaming pretty much separated on the map. And this is great for Apex Gaming. That's 7 points under the belt.
Looks really good. They're playing together and it's working out. 7 eliminations, as you said. On the other end, Paradox, depending on their 4 eliminations that they got, they were also confident. But this is how the exchange goes. When the middle order teams finally find their fights, they're not completely sure about the top teams versus their own teams that they're fighting around the points for.
When we go down the food chain, it is going to eventually come down to the placement points, right? Like the longer it takes for teams to get removed from the lobby, the harder it is to back those placement points. And finally, we see the heavy hitters bring into action. Rasha completely ran over by Jonah there. The valiant dash from the Oscar doing most of the work. Evo's Divine, or Evo's Esports in this case, not really looking for a fight, right? They lost Rasha, and that's what Evo's has been doing, I think, yesterday as well, where they were sending Rasha out on a one-man mission, and he's been holding the fort really well alone as a sniper.
But Team Apex Gaming right now holding their own. Saiyajad and Shoto putting down Gun Dynasty. We were thinking about this trouble that might strike Gun Dynasty. Shiro trying to run away. Will that be possible? He's already spotted out. Last man standing right behind the glue wall. Finds an opening, but it's not going to be enough. His numbers are not that great. And Team Apex Gaming find another. That's going to be 10 total eliminations for them. And Benel is the last man standing.
And Benel, coincidentally, is also the star of the team as he gallops away to try and find some safety net. Dinoculus used to scout out the journey in front, and for now it is clear. Might run into Takuri if he goes slightly further, but don't have to do so. Vending machine available. GD not out just yet. And this was something, a concern that you brought up before the show started, right? That Gun Dynasty, they had a great start. They were really confident, but there's a chance that they drop out of top 4 today. And this might just slowly manifest itself. We check back with them in just a little bit, with Mandara getting absolutely fried in that hut, with Limit watching from the side as well. The rest of Falcons about to surround their prey. Mandara with the Trogon, only good on the one, but no confirmation there as Falcons take him out.
Losing players, Demon Sprite, they need eliminations, they need points. We spoke about this. Titan Esports Club at least picked up, but Falcons on the other end, they know what they want. They want to get to the top 4. They are right now missing on the top of the charts, and that's the reason they're running right now. And they've already spotted top 16 because he's been laying down glue walls. Geroro troubled a little in the meantime, but I don't think top 16 will have an opportunity. On the other end, Team Apex Gaming.
Wow.
They again re-challenge Paradox and put the entire team out.
And talk about a strong start as we check in the STC replay here. Demon's Pride, unfortunately, is caught in the cross, caught in rotation by Team Falcon. And of course, with the Skylar in hand, in the hands of Limit, it was easy pickings. Falcons raking up 10 eliminations, entering the double-digit club. 10 teams remain. We did lose Aurora very early on, like what we seen yesterday. Paradox being the recent casualty. DRS still in the lobby, but only one survivor left. Rimnam Village completely taken over by the Falcons as they make the nest here. We can expect a bit of a rotation afterwards because the circle did move to the eastern side of the map.
Eastern and completely southern, and that is the reason we end up seeing teams here. But Falcon now have another trouble in front of them. The ones who they are sharing the overall rankings with, that's going to be loud in front of them. Takuri, the last one who is in the deep waters, will also be found and fished out. And with that, DRS are out. But right now, with the ball breaker being called, the fight breaks out between Falcons as well as Loud. Loud Snickers, they want this fight. They want to get back and make sure they stabilize their position. As we said, SCA versus Brazil, they want to make it Brazil, but it's not happening. It's a quick exchange. But BZP, he manages to confirm on P now. That's a very crucial opening to taking out the CQC player.
He also spotted the rotation of Guaksha, so Limit is not going to let it out of sight. Nix actually fights Limit, the backstab. Perfectly done, and BZP back up on his feet. Loud Snickers outdoing Falcons. Keroro on the run with the long pad. BZP not able to find the track. Falcons escape with their tails between their legs, but not fully clipped yet. Pina was brought back, but Loud Snickers now take control.
What a fight that was to hold it off and BZP to put Limit over there. If he did not find, because Limit was already helping his teammates out with the sniper, and that is the reason taking out bits and pieces of Falcons worked out for Loud. First take down the CQC player and then go for the one in the long range made wonders. AGL on the other end, sneakily, they have been pulling up eliminations for themselves, 7 eliminations, and I think in the top 4 so far that we've seen teams, AGL are the ones who are very consistent, safe and sound, and not troubled by any team so far.
Same as BRU, right?
Yeah.
Both of these teams have been chilling a bit. We say that they have been taking it slow, but then when you look at the eliminations, AGL actually has 7 eliminations off screens, and most of it is just picking off stragglers and catching teams in rotation. But most of these teams, they were able to get those revives in, and this is why we still have 9 full squads, almost 9 full squads. Let's for Demon's Pride. BRU now making their rotation just past Pochinok. A good chance that they run into GD again, who has been giving them some problems yesterday.
Ganda and ST, yesterday has been a problem for their own. Hopefully they soon recover. But right now, Demon's Pride, they spot a problem in front of them. That's going to be Loud. Quick run with a boost in the vehicle they took, and they take the compound right next to Demon's Pride. 3 players, Jazzy, Aswab and Madara, they have to figure an approach because Loud have been looking louder than ever here on day 2 for the top 4 spots.
Absolutely. And it seems like Demon's Pride are thinking about standing their ground, but there could be intervention from Evos, who are right behind them, just silently watching this go down. We see the UAVs being sent out. And I think Loud Snickers are doing the good move. This is a very classic pincer, right? You surround the compound and suddenly whoever is in those buildings becomes the one that is trapped. DP are starting to feel that pressure.
Yeah, today, I think Gun Dynasty, while they did not feel any of it yesterday, it is about qualifications. It's about keys at stake. It's about making it to the final. And right now, even Titan Esports Club on top of the silo start putting players down, doing the damage, and Evo's helping out over there. Unfortunate, one of the eliminations was stolen away, but they still have the eyes on the Falcons. The verticality has changed. Falcons are on the ground, whereas Titan Esports Club are on the roof right now.
Yesterday we got very generous circles, but I think today things are going to only get worse.
Look at the final circle.
I mean, the circle's right out in the open, right?
Yeah.
If you are not good, if you are not comfortable with these CQCs out in the open, if you are slow in the decision making, that is going to be the difference maker. And I think it's a very good time to put our teams to the test. Who can survive a circle as brutal as this?
Yeah, an open circle, and if you're able to stand your own, especially in game 1 of day 2, that gives you a lot of confidence moving further. And that's what Team Apex Gaming have done. They've started off great, but right now they have a challenge. All gamers global want to find an opening. Plethora of throwables being all tuned towards Team Apex Gaming. Flash freeze, nades, but now counter activity coming in from Team Apex Gaming, trying to push down AGAL. Shoto in the forefront using the dash, wants to find an opening, but AGAL are not giving space.
And they took care of the UAV as well. Medic gun to heal Shoto back up. The tip of the spear for TAG lies in his hands. Barrow's getting flanked out. Sahujan almost getting the takedown. That could have made a world of difference here, but it does put AJL in a dangerous spot right forward. This Cypher that manages to break this fight wide open. TAG down 1, second one on the ground. KD gone now. We'll have to dig deep and find something, but AJL will be the one that prevails.
That was brilliant caliber and holding position played out by AGAL. They held that ground even though they were at a disadvantage. At the edge of that peak, they were still holding it off against Team Apex Gaming. Would have had an opportunity, but I think that being a little spread out became a disadvantage for them. But right now, spreading themselves around, we saw already this rotation coming in from Lau, the smartest one. They're ahead of Demon's Pride, and now they have vision. And Evos are also being troubled by Loud, and now even Demon Sprite Trap already getting closer. He's already found an opening on a swap. Jazzy, he's also down. Trouble now for Demon Sprite, last man standing, and the net from Trap. The M79 strikes death for Demon Sprite.
And off-screen, Team Falcons also dispatched by BRU, and now they turn their attention over to AGAL. Nameless did get popped early on, but it should be a recovery. Titan Esports still has Blade around, and is he sharp enough to cut through the ranks of the Goliaths in front of him out in the open? This is gonna be tough. No utilities, 2 glue walls, and only 5 medkits, as BRU will also have to make a break for it. Once more doorway out of this, they exit straight into the line aside of Loud Snickers and potentially Evos.
This is what should not happen on your day 2 where you're looking forward to qualification. All the top 4 teams are still surviving. Buriram, AGAL, Evos and Loud. It's only Titan Esports Club all the way at the bottom who has the last player standing, and he doesn't have any position in the zone. So a lot of points which could have been acquired for teams for qualification are being missed out. Blade will be spotted, quickly taken down by Cypher, and we come down to the last 4 teams, and all of them are in the top 4.
Mosana takes the nade to the face, but getting topped back up by the therapy. The support system always solid there. Get high, getting sniped by Cypher. But BRU focus on Loud Snickers, and that's a fatal mistake. As Loud Snickers and AGAL work hand in hand for the elimination, and now they turn on each other.
AGAL, they are inside the circle. Yosha gets taken down. Cypher wants to put BCP down in the truck. He's not been able to do, but finally that strike coming in from Dew, and Evo's Divine helping out as well. Nyx becomes the last man standing as Evos go out. Cypher has already spotted him, wants to whack him out, but Nyx is trying to isolate this fight. He takes it down, players are falling down, and eventually it'll still be AGAL. They have the numbers, and they get their very first booyah.
Very first booyah in the group stage, and even without it, they were in the top 4 spot. So imagine when you give AGAL such a big boon. Fantastic performance. We saw the hold earlier on where they came back from a disadvantage, and it was all because of one minor detail: Barros surviving in the backline. If you don't break the backbone of AGAL, they will break you instead, and that is exactly what was achieved. Them and Lau unintentionally working together to get rid of BRU, but then AGAL found a perfect engage onto Lau.
Yeah, I think there was an opportunity where Loud, if they had a chance to recover themselves after the fight, being at the edge of the zone, it could have been their booyah as well. They've already pulled so many yesterday. It could have been an added or third today.
Yep.
But AGL's position, we spoke about it, even in a position where they had to climb up the hill against Team Apex Gaming. If that did not work out, we would have seen AGL go out very early on. But they held their own, they held their front there, and it worked out. And now they've gotten their very first booyah here on day 2, especially being at the top 4 hurts the middle order.
Yeah, but there are definitely flowers that need to be given to some of the teams that are in desperate need of points, right? I mean, TEC, TAG, well, they came out strong. DRS as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's some great stuff happening, but let's listen in to what AGAL was
Talking about leading up to that booyah. Again, another performance from AGAL that I think shook the opener of day 2, but I would say, right, this goes back to the potential of our secondary scenario. If this trend continues, then might as well let them go through. Let them go through, and we have some of the teams who are chasing for their qualification to Grand Finals play tomorrow. An extra 10 games, but I guess without these heavy hitters being a big threat, it makes the chances slightly better.
It makes the chances slightly better if you think about the survival stage, but as you look at the performance right now, the bottom dwellers, the last 2 who are there, even Titan Esports Club and Demon Sprite, they try to make it towards the top 6 teams, meaning they're acquiring placement points, they're getting eliminations, and they're trying to get themselves out of that elimination threat, meaning the middle order, now it's completely dicey. So you don't know who's going to get eliminated, so better be wary. Either you strike towards the top 4, or you don't know if you're going to get eliminated or not.
Yeah, there's always that safety net, I believe, for any Free Fire competition, right? If I can't take that top spot and qualify, the bare minimum, I make it out alive to the next stage. And so if you can't aim for top 4, aim for top 10.
But I'm not sure if it's going to be as easy as it sounds or as easy as we make it sound. Because look at Gun Dynasty, they were barely able to get 2 points in this game. That tells you day 1 and day 2 can be completely drastically different. It cannot replicate the same performance, and that's what even AGL, to get their very first booyah, allowed to go out like that, tells you that teams are slowly strategically planning their championship. They want their trophy, their key put on the shield.
Yeah, more impressive is how this group was a group of teams that basically they enter the boxing ring and they just start swinging, right? Just filling their arms, they're trying to get some haymakers in, and then maybe after 6th round of just mindless brawling, they decided, okay, that kind of hurt a little bit. We got to slow down. And the teams that actually made it work are the front runners. AJL, very patient. BRU, very patient. Laos Snickers, very patient. And patience paid off.
Yep, completely. The top 4 teams surviving till the very last, and also being the last 4 surviving teams, that patience, that holding game off, actually playing as survivors, and knowing that they don't have a lot at stake to go out. Whereas Gun Dynasty, something that we were talking about, if they miss their performance today, and if Falcons rise up the ranks, they might get pushed down. We already spoke, yes, they have high number of eliminations, but that's not going to cascade and help them out to directly qualify if they don't put up a decent performance today.
I would say that they do have a safety net with the points they have, and let's see how much longer they can lay in that bed of roses. We're going to let them lie down and rest for a little bit, as we will be right back with more Free Fire action.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by Play.
What an intense opener. AGAL secured the first booyah of the day. We are now back on stage with Mekon Chita Caroline, and of course, we have Yunsul here. That was exciting, right? Yes. What a game, what a match. I mean, what even is that last circle, Yunsul?
That was crazy. That was really intense. Imagine we have 5 teams, very strong teams compete with each other. And lastly, only one survived, which is AGAL. And so incredible. I have been watching them since yesterday until today. And finally, they got their booyah. I was waiting for that for the whole day.
Yes, and what's amazing is that AG actually scored the highest elimination points the other day in one game, and that was the 5th game. They got 19 points. I'm pretty sure they were able to be doing that again today, hopefully. What we just saw in the first game, I think things are looking quite promising, right?
Yes, from what I can see from yesterday, they have been playing very stable, even though there's no booyah, but still, as you said, the elimination points was on point, on peak. They were doing so best, and today, finally, after game 1, they got 1 booyah, but still, the first ranking here is Buriram United Esports, which is 149 points. But the first ranking, well, this is our stage here for the after game 1. Thank you, Conchita, and for your listening. Let's head back to our casters.
Thank you very much to our lovely angels, Yunsu and Conchita. We got a lot more in store here at the Free Fire at EWC 2026. Again, Paris can only get more and more lovely with these actions as we quickly drop into map number 2. And this time we're going to change it up a little bit. We did mention earlier on that the map rotation will be slightly different today. And AJL have started off strong with a booyah. So let's see if they can keep that train going.
It is Solara that we drop down to. And another opportunity for the teams at the middle order as well as at the bottom. And you can already see a quick swap because of how Titan Esports Club played. And we mentioned this. They need placement points. They instantly got it. And up.
And now they are in a great spot. Yeah, we cool. We complete each other's sentences. But I will say that whatever we sort of like set up yesterday is slowly coming true, right? We talked about Demon Sprite needing to come up, and again, taking a fight with Paradox early on. It's Aswap. They get wiped out first. Enrique We see here he has great survival instinct from game 1, but top 16 to hunt him down. Aswap instantly brought back. TEC now joins the fight. That is a team that we've been watching out for at the start of day 2. Najat in the fray of things. Rahat also coming in, and Blaze slicing through the ranks of Demon's Pride.
Oh no, Swab in the mid-air has been spotted by Gun Dynasty and he will be taken down. Demon's Pride are losing players once again. Paradox get eliminated in the mix of this. And Paradox, who just got pushed to the bottom 2, will also suffer another loss right at the start of our game 8, match 8.
Talk about kicking them while they are down, and they are out. Paradox, a very unfortunate early exit, completely swarmed by multiple teams in the earlier stage. Whether it's desperation or a change of pace for some of the bottom dwellers, it has been working out in favor of teams like Apex Gaming, Demon's Pride, Titan, DRS. I mean, even for GD able to pick off a couple of stragglers on their own, but it does come at a cost of teams who are just half a second slower to respond.
DRS want to be the quickest one to respond right now. They did spot AGAL, but they take the fight to Titan Esports Club and Najad is taken down. And it is the wisest calls I feel right now coming in from DRS, and they're making a run for it. Rahat and Blade, they just have the stairs that they are being protected by, but DRS, they are on a charge. They want to go for a hit. Adu was backing off, uses the chrono and is now safe and sound, but at least this gives away the position of where the players from Titan Esports Club are. But it's only these two. The other players are in the other direction, revived and are healthy.
Pratik is actually getting pressured as well. Forced to take the zipline away. Takuri actually getting tagged in the meantime, was brought down. But this was sort of like the demise of Paradox Gaming. A very quick and painless one. At least they take the bottom spot. Aurora still in this game, which is a blessing in disguise if you are a Malaysian team supporter here. But Blade just absolutely pop Rasha. Great shot from afar. Rahat caught in for reinforcement. Aurora this time stand their ground and will not be taken up by AGAL in the earlier stages. Jun up the stairs. Cypher barricades himself safely. And Axel with the follow-up. Cypher is out.
He'll be confirmed. It's up to Barros and Dew, who's in his flight mode right now, dropping in air. If he gets spotted out, trouble will strike. And Aurora, they need a game like this. They need a recovery game, and it might happen on Solara, where everybody's forced for a fight. Barros tried to hold his own, but he'll not be able to. At least the revive happened. Therefore, there is still chance for AGL, and they don't have to be worried about. However, Aurora, they needed these 4 crucial 4 eliminations.
The good news for Aurora is that they are not close to the bottom 2. But bad news is that they technically only have 5 games to play, because game 1 they didn't really get anything done. So the catch-up game, and there's a lot more urgency for them compared to the rest of the teams. And one of the teams that is in no rush at all is EVOS. And so far playing on Solara, it's one of the maps that they are slightly more comfortable in. Loud Snickers playing a Fidus Stroax, completely found out in the open. And Loud Snickers with the first point.
Loud are playing, I think, a brilliant game so far. Ending up in the top 4, making sure they stay the top 4 way that they are in, and it continues that they make it to the final as well. We've already been seeing their counterparts from Brazil, MIB are lost in Fluxo. They're keeping their toes matched up, and I think that's what Loud want to do. And if that's a majority of all the Brazilian teams who made it here to EWC, all going to the finals, there is a big chance for them to walk away with being called the champions.
It's a lot of pressure also, because when we look at
I want to say from the earlier days until now, you would expect teams from Thailand and Brazil, if they qualify to a tournament, they're expected to all make the grand finals. It is quite the way to show that, and especially for Loud, who has been on the big stage, they've missed out if they're not, they don't have 100% attendance, but when they're there, a lot of eyes are on them, right? Yeah. Aside from Fluxo, like Loud is the second team that you sort of want to make it to the finals and give a good match, but it has always been so close.
But Aurora also want to make that happen, and that's the reason this challenge happens. However, Jun's lost. That is Rasha coming in.
No way!
Sue is also down. Confirmations. Aurora losing players one after another. That's Rasha for you. He wants again. He was back in action. Aziel spotted. Aim God puts him down, and it's the Axel. Can he put the chopping block out of EVOS, or will he be found out? Damage done. HP lost. His position completely compromised. It's just the boulder and the direction that he's running away. I don't see a vending machine to help, nor a team to help out. And Axel will just try and bide time for the time being because EVOs have a distraction.
Yeah, Demon's Pride bailed Aurora out of that. It was a missed opportunity. Aurora had that bit of a mechanical error, caused them to be in this spot, but again, Demon's Pride, who are also hungry for some points, they ended up being the intervention that Aurora desperately needed in times.
This is what I was talking about. And you see how the bottom teams are now fighting for eliminations. They will go for the top 4 teams are already getting their best.
That is the best part right now of this lobby. Desperation is a double-edged sword.
Yep.
And he has been empowering some of these teams so far. The risk, definitely not as great as the reward. Good ratio there, even TAG finds himself on the feed. Just a quick reminder at the end of this, 2 teams are gonna have their keys fed into the crusher.
Yep.
Always a sad sight, cause man, such great accessories. But that's the nature, the brutality of a competition. Let's see what this circle brings us, because game 1 was brutal. In game 2, a little bit more tame, but plenty of open areas.
Open right now is going to be a fight between Buriram and EVOs, who just got revived. However, it's only one of the players getting stuck between the lot of Buriram at Eco Drain. And I think he'll be found very soon, but team finding players are tagged. That's Team Apex Gaming. More eliminations coming their way. They're climbing up the ranks, making sure if they have an opportunity, but they need a lot more. They need points closer to 30 in total. Maybe a Booyah also needed if they want a run going towards the top 4.
And the bailout earlier on, the unintentional one, gave Aurora time to bring the whole squad back, right? We look at the separation between Falcons and Aurora. It is 49 points. Made worse by the fact that Aurora didn't really get to play the first game, so it is a tall task to expect Aurora to catch up and find a tie, but it's good enough to remain in the top 10 and make it to survival stage tomorrow. As DRS looking for a rotation, Loud doing the exact same thing, but they might be beelining straight into Demon's Pride.
Demon's Pride, they just got eliminations from EVOs. They have a compound that they're holding. Looks to be a better game. Loud have just found their one here. AGL, in the meantime, they're finding the players of EVOs, and EVOs seemed troubled after they were about to convert on Demon's Pride. Wherever they tried to head out, they've been spotted, taken down, and eliminated. Abax being chased by AGL, and he will be put to rest as well. And that is EVOs losing their players. One last survivor is Aim God. Only gets coins now, but where is the vending machine? On one end, there's Buriram. On the other end, AGL. And right in front now, Demon's Pride as well as Loud going in for a fight. And it's going to be Loud putting Azwab down. And the entire squad within a whiff gets eliminated.
A full blitz from Loud again. Their execution and these quick hits are so efficient. They make sure that the fight ends within 15 to 20 seconds so that there's time for them to recuperate if a second team does arrive. And it's something that has defined Loud's playstyle in competitive Free Fire. The Wonder Key gets brought back, but that's the most that Aim God could do for the team. And right after that, Axel finds a pickoff. And it's the same situation that EVOs frequently find themselves in, playing the survival game.
As of now, I think that's the mantra for them. They're unable to find a footing to just go for fights, and they've been just chased by teams. Put them down one after another, and DRS wanted to start out strong. The real soldiers using UAV to just get a grasp of information around. They spot another and they do destroy. Strox, he is the sniper. He's the one who finds a lot of value, but so far for DRS, at least today's start in game number 1 was decent, and out of that, Solara right now hasn't found much.
And it's a team that is also a first timer on the EWC stage as well. Finally getting what people say they deserve over their counterpart back in the region. AGAL now facing off against BRU, the same face-off as round 1, but we might find an early ending as Jonah with a good hit on the deal. Saifa still pushing forward with support from his teammate Wasana though will win that fight, and this time BRU, they will show AGAL that once is enough. Barros is poking it out of that, but has to go into the blue with no coins at all.
You could see how clever that fight was. They used the Steffi, no throwables that could have been dropped by the side of AGAL, went in for a 4-forward fight, guns all out, and Buriram had the better of it, and AGAL could do nothing of it. It's just very strategic play coming through, and this is what makes champions. And you mentioned Buriram, they want their cabinet with an EWC trophy, and this could be one of their opportunities.
Yep, it's the final piece of the puzzle, and how poetic it is that the final piece of the puzzle is fitting the key into the plaque. It's gonna be a lot of A lot of stories being completed. I think again for BRU, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for that to happen. Alu ends up stepping on a landmine. That should be the end of DRS as Guasha finds Pratik. Point number 7, number 8 for the Brazilians. DRS, they were just trying to put up a fight, but unfortunately, not enough firepower in this case.
Trap mentioned it's time for Brazil. It's time for Loud to get this trophy, and he is doing it for the team. Playing together, the last man makes a run, but how far can he run? Loud have another challenge. That's going to be Aurora this time. Back and forth. The compound was cleared by Loud. They took Demon's Pride out. DRS came for a challenge. They were pushed out, and now Aurora. Is the story going to be any different? Loud are going to just get eliminations after eliminations, and highest so far here in Solara, they're sitting at 9 in total.
The property value of that compound is only going to keep on increasing with so much visitations. KD got, with the help of Shoto, was able to take out Barrows, and that spells the end for AGAL in Game 2. 8 teams remain, Falcons still healthy, Sharu getting chased down. It's Gun Dynasty, not really having the best of time, and Pina finds 3rd point for his team.
One last survivor from Gun Dynasty. That's the only one right now. But on the other end, Aurora. This real estate, as you already mentioned, it is just Loud's. They've written it down. They've cemented it, and it's going to go down ages, at least here on Solara. And they're at the dead center of the circle, so nobody's going to push them out. Maybe the circle itself decides to make a very hard shift, and then Loud would have to change the position.
And even, wow, they don't have to, but the circle, consistent with what we've requested, at least for today, give Loud a bit of a compound, but most of the safe zone is out in the open. Dinoculus scanned out, so someone knows that Loud is in that compound with 12 eliminations to boot. BRU should show up on the radar any time now. I believe the Dinoculus, it's a good chance it came from EVOS or even TAG, who are now making their appearance. Can Loud hold back the 3rd wave of challenges?
Team Apex Gaming, they need these points more than Loud. The challenge has to be very critical on the hit. DRS were in the same compound, but Loud were able to turn it around, and yes, a little active in terms of their approach, going a little ham against Loud while there were landmines all across, and even right now, Gatling gun being placed, the Minotaur could be trouble. Riptide Rhythm on the other end coming in from Falcons to break the defenses of Buriram. Spotted out in the open was Jonah. He banks off with his teammates, making sure this fight instantly doesn't replicate to eliminations on either end.
I mean, Team Apex Gaming a lot more patient. Something that I think is going to be the main difference maker between what we saw from Aurora, right? While a lot more in your face, wanted to make more moves. Falcons also starting to feel a bit of that jitter. DRS planting themselves on the low ground as Ray out in the open will be picked up by Guaksha. So that's the 13th point for Loud Snickers. But the rest of EVOS, even if they get through Loud, they still have to do a DRS. Apex, what was that?
That was a big surprise. Nobody expected him to be behind enemy lines, and Rasha being the distraction, and he's still fighting. Abax gets another player from DRS, but they instantly put glue walls and stall that at least for the time being. Abax, can he find more? Rasha on the other end, these two players on 2 different directions trying to corner a team, and Rasha spots Falcons. Damage being done, finds the knock. Can he find a confirmation? No, again, glue walls being blocked on any approach coming in from EVOS.
And Rasha himself, 6 out of the 7 eliminations this game for his team. Him and Apex completely separated, and Trap will take care of his teammate. The Wonder Kid left to his own devices, and now the circle closes in. Even La will have to start evicting the compound. Riptide Rhythm goes absolutely wide there from TAG. So Falcons not really threatened, and they have such a good spot perched up on this boulder.
It looked like it was going to be Loud earlier, but right as now, as you mentioned, yes, it is Falcons. They have the best position to hold every team off. Circle's about to close in the next 10 seconds, and also it's shifting. Teams better be ready for this. Wolverine gets taken down by Moshi. A very small, slight angle where he found Wolverine down, but I think it should be an instant recovery, not much to be worried about. But Team Apex Gaming, they have to put them down right here at the hut. But Buriram now decide to go challenge and get closer. Falcons trying to hit shots, but none of them connect, and Buriram make it safely.
And the result between BRU and TAG comes down to how much can Falcons change the course of this battle. The glue wall from BRU will give them some space to work with. Wasana being given one more blue wall as he did ran out of resources, but BRU decides that they can't bomb rush this. In fact, it's TAG that responds on the Falcons. Rashad gets freed up and now he pokes it for the building where Loud and DRS are perched at. Launchpad being used as well. BRU now arrives on top of the roof. The reposition enabled by the chaos. BRU now in prime spot.
However, Loud are taking away those eliminations, stealing it away. Damage being done by Buriram, but Loud, they are getting it all. It looks unstoppable. Russia is in a very compromised position. So is Keroro from Falcons. How drastically this fight changed from Falcons winning it to almost now losing it. And now Team Apex Gaming, they're making a rush out in the open. Keroro has nothing to say and Shoto finds it. And right now we have the best 5 teams looking forward to points. Falcons are out of the race and Team Apex Gaming now moved to that prime position.
They will have to relocate because the circle decides that will be the case. EVOS eliminated down the top 4. And TAG ever so close. And so far they will be unbothered just for an instant as DRS is going to be the one that faces resistance. Lau, attention put onto the captain Jonah. BRU under pressure while Sana responds from long range. They need to keep Jonah alive and Jonah is the anchor that cannot break, but Lau is putting on immense pressure by just rushing in. Alu gets taken now off screen by Trap and BRU able to retreat to a safe space. TAG now needs to catch up.
Just like how out in the open Buriram made their rotation, even Loud managed to, with a plethora of blue walls, lay down the land and they walk across. They're closer than ever. Team Apex Gaming in the meantime, just because Loud decided to rotate out earlier, now they have an opportunity. Jonah finds Takuri, the last one from DRS, and now Team Apex Gaming have an opportunity because Loud and Buriram are close together. However, Get High, he is shooting the players of Team Apex Gaming and not letting them slide down the hill.
This is the final lap for Apex Gaming, and hold my hand, Lucifer, because we might be witnessing history here. Top 3 teams, 2 of the front runners still with the full squad left alive. But Team Apex Gaming have the high ground. They have a couple of moments, couple of instances where the blue zone will make the difference, and TAG, they are in such a prime position to get this pickoff.
Loud, they decided to make a rotation earlier than Buriram, but Buriram had the position and Loud are trapped because the zone's closing in. Blue wall's now working out. Kerrigan finds the opening.
And they do it here. TAG. The faster they get rid of Loud, the better they ask for him. And Loud, you know that the Brazilians, they don't back down and they are ready to take that fight. The cluster would have been nice if it connected, but now Loud are out of vision and BRU into the fray.
Team Apex Gaming, they have an advantage. Loud have a safe spot. BRU are out in the open.
Retire him.
It's breaking the defenses one after another. Shoto has had a great start in this game. 5 eliminations already and a KD got hit again. Wasana is down. Make it Get High. Pullman finds one more. Team Apex Gaming are also assisted by Loud. Loud are taking away the eliminations and Team Apex Gaming will not be happy about this.
This is looking good. TAG have a chance. Jonah being pressured by Loud. A distraction, they eliminated. TAG in a spot to make history here against Lau. BZP in the front. Shota with the first one. Can they find a conversion? Lau down low in hell. Quakshi's down. BZP to follow. Team Apex Gaming makes history and gets their first ever booyah on the world stage.
This is a very big booyah for Team Apex Gaming. We spoke about their comeback. They start slow, but they make it happen. And especially to do it at Esports World Cup 2026 Paris, the biggest in status. And Team Apex Gaming for India make a big booyah.
Yesterday we talked about this. Dreams come true one step at a time. And I'm glad we held hands for this moment. What an achievement it is for the region. They needed some time to warm up, but once those seats are warm, TAG entered the flow state. And with impeccable beautiful execution in the final circle. They took advantage of all these openings given to them. Openings that are very minor, that cannot
Be missed, but they were on the ball, Lucifer.
We spoke about this, right? Prime position, real estate, all of it. One after another, every team wanted it. Loud started it off, Buriram went for it, and then finally Team Apex Gaming found the very best spot. Falcons, this is why we were talking about it. They were the ones who should have been a booyah here, but they messed up in their movement, and it was Team Apex Gaming took that same position away from Falcons, took the last player down, and they get this booyah, and thankfully, they managed to do it in such a manner where they were ahead of the zone, up the hill, and this time they get it.
Incredible stuff here. You can really hear the passion radiate. The crowd, they were feeling it. They knew that once we got into the top 6, TAG is a prime candidate for that booyah. And this is what the Esports World Cup is all about, man. Unpredictability, the volatility, but this final sequence, TAG, I could rewatch this all day.
All day, all long. Brilliantly played out. Yes, they tried to pick an opening, but it did not work out as brilliant as they wanted. Holding it off, Katie, Godsai, Ajat, Shoto, the big man. What a play coming in from their end. And yes, as I said, this is a very big thing for them and the whole of India to look at.
They are going to be incredibly proud, but we're going to let these teams again prep for the upcoming games. And for now, we're going to hand it over to Carol on the stage as she has something for us.
Hello everyone, I'm Carol Bombshell and we are back on stage and I'm happy to have this company here by my side, Nameless from AGL team. Thanks so much for your time, and yesterday we noticed that you guys got so close so many times to get a booyah, but unfortunately you didn't. But today, happily you guys managed. How did it feel to get your first booyah in the competition?
ก็เมื่อวานนะครับแบบว่าหลายครั้งเหลือเกินที่เราเกือบจะได้บูย่าเนี่ยแต่ว่าไม่ได้สักทีนะฮะแต่ว่าวันนี้เนี่ยเราได้ปลดล็อกที่ได้บูย่าแรกแล้วเนี่ยฮะรู้สึกยังไงบ้างครับ
ครับก็รู้สึกปลดล็อกครับแล้วก็รู้สึกว่าทีมพวกผมพร้อมแล้วครับที่จะเป็นแชมป์
Yeah, I feel like we have already unlocked something and I think we are ready to become the champion of this tournament.
I like your confidence. That's definitely the way to talk. Okay, so after finishing last year in the 5th place and in the 30 in the global finals, you are getting closer to win an international tournament. And to, of course, together with your whole team, does it feel like this is the moment to get over the line?
ก็ในปีที่แล้วนะฮะเราได้จบไปทั้งที่อันดับที่5นะฮะแล้วก็อันดับที่3นะครับใน global tournament นะฮะในปีนี้เนี่ยเราขยับเข้ามาอีกขั้นหนึ่งแล้วที่จะได้เป็นแชมเปี้ยนนะฮะรู้สึกยังไงบ้างครับ
ก็รู้สึกว่าปีที่แล้วทีมนี้ไม่มีผมครับปีนี้มีแล้วน่าจะเป็นแชมป์ได้ครับ
Yeah, I think like because last year he's not in the team yet, but this year he's here already, so everything should be fine now.
Okay, are you sure? All right, I trust you. Okay, so there is really some tough teams in the way, of course. Buriram, Fluxo, maybe Arlos, all look very strong. Who do you think is the biggest competitor right now?
ก็ตอนนี้นะครับมีหลายทีมเลยที่บอกว่าเป็นตัวเต็งนะครับไม่ว่าจะเป็น MIBR นะฮะแล้วก็อีกหลายๆทีมครับคิดว่าตอนนี้ทีมไหนเป็นตัวที่เป็นคู่แข่งที่น่าจับตามองมากที่สุดครับ
น่าจะเป็นฟุกโซแล้วก็เราครับ
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Fluxo and Laos, which is like the most competitive team.
Only Brazilian teams? Okay, I like your answer. Thanks so much for the interview. Good luck in the next matches, the rest of the day. And that's it. You heard from Nameless from AGL team. And I'm back with you guys at the studio.
This ain't no regular thing. I came for the ring, you know what I mean. You see my name in the lights, better get right, I'm champion.
At this year's Esports World Cup, we're bringing you all the games you love, all the coverage you crave. And for the first time ever, a completely unfiltered behind-the-scenes broadcast.
And he absolutely destroys him.
I don't think with raw opinions.
I'm just gonna have to say it. I think they have their heads up right now. Absolutely.
Yes, from broadcasters who don't even know they're being recorded. They don't know they're being recorded?
Oh, what do you mean? That is insane. Oh,
What is this? Nicole, I said, please, lactose free. I can't deal with this.
All right,
Not
we got-
here,
we
not
gotta-
now.
we gotta look at this game. I'm sorry, is this a good idea?
This is what we have. All you have to do is read the lines.
Nate,
All right.
the bed.
They're absolutely the bed. I don't understand how this keeps getting allowed to take control of the space and nothing is done about it.
We're gonna get fined. There's no way that this is gonna work.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We do the thinking, okay? I cannot believe this job on this team. Every time you thinking, oh my, they got game, and